Meteorologist Casey Cloud back with you on this Saturday afternoon, giving you guys the latest here on a severe thunderstorm warning situation from McClenny now. Things kind of pushing a little bit more easterly here in some ways, organizing more in a linear fashion here for the McClenny area. So damaging winds a possibility around McClenny right now as we're looking at things. I know it's still maybe a little displaced here as we're looking at some of the latest scans here, but you kind of get the idea. Some stronger winds just kind of in that area, and honestly, it might be as we're looking live on the east side of McClenny, and then a threat for Baldwin here over the next little bit. So that could be something that we're dealing with here as we progress here in the timeline. So again, that's what we're dealing with right now. A severe thunderstorm warning. I'm planning we have flash flood warning out toward McCulloch County we were talking about earlier on. Let's give you a quick update over there, and then we'll go back over toward the east again here. But let's just see what's been transpiring out that way. As you can see here toward McCulloch County, you see more rain back out toward the west. We'll have to see where that tracks in an exact fashion to see if it kind of goes over the same areas. But last hour has tapered off some there. But let's go back over the last 12 hours now. These yellows indicative of 7, 8, 9 inches there as you're looking at different measurements here across this region. So lighter yellow is indicative of a lot of rain there around Crawfordville. So again, causing some problems there in toward the Big Bend region for sure. But I know we had those tornado warnings here, Lake City area out toward Baker County. I know we saw that threat kind of weakening off, more rural area, but then unfortunately things kind of became a little bit more linear, pushing more easterly now in the more populated areas like McClenny at this moment, but then probably more toward Baldwin even. But they're not official into this warning here. I know it's been kind of tricky. They're kind of having, because the track these storms are shifting pretty rapidly here. They're kind of having to issue these warnings in a little bit interesting way here with the way the boxes are. Now that one further back that we were going to post about here before we saw this one we need to come on for, it's already pretty much, it's one that's going to go away soon out here north of Sanderson, but this area here kind of pushing more toward Baldwin. Looks like maybe getting some rotation just a bit more here last frame or two, a little bit brighter color, so we'll watch that. I honestly think it's more straight line is what we were talking about earlier on. I think that's still the case here, but you just got to be careful since this is a very highly popular area. If this pushes more easterly, surges more easterly here. Again, things have been shifting around a bit on us. You saw that more east-northeastern track earlier on, and now things kind of going a little more easterly. I know it has to do with our boundaries and where they're at, kind of, how they're set up. So I know that kind of is tricky here, but it's kind of stuff right along those here in the general sense. So again, that's what we're dealing with right now. Again, that one warning that we had on this here probably going to go away soon, but this one, I mean, even this will probably go away here. It only goes to 4:45. Probably good about that expiration, but then it'll be a decision here probably in the next few moments if it's not already being discussed now. A decision whether to extend this further into Duval County or not. Severe thunderstorm warning, a tornado possible, or tornado warning. Right now it's a base severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and the hail heading up to severe here officially. So that's at least some good news. But we have to watch this because these are some very highly populated areas, obviously, on a Saturday when folks are doing their holiday shopping or just simply watching football even here. You can see, looking at the brighter colors there, it's about 70-mile-an-hour winds. Possibly going away from the Jacksonville radar site right now. So, again, just continuing to give you guys the very latest here. Try to give you guys the very latest on what's happening. I know they've had some issues with lightning out toward Tallahassee where there is a football game going on here. And let's go ahead and go to the broad perspective real quick. I know FAMU playing a very important game, and their game in Tallahassee was delayed. Hopefully they're seeing lightning kind of move away from there now, and that'll get underway here very soon. That seems to be the case, and I'm seeing on the Doppler radar technology anyway. So, very important game for Florida A&M. The Rattlers there. Trying to really continue their great season, and FSU trying to continue their undefeated season here tonight up against Louisville and Charlotte. And right now, the rain not destroyed, but we'll have to watch some of this stuff here. How much rain comes into the picture here. It wouldn't be thunderstorm activity, wouldn't be severe weather, but could still be an issue. Okay, speaking of severe weather, we just got a new warning now for parts of Duval County. And this does have a tornado possible tag on it now until 5 o'clock. At 4:32, a severe thunderstorm was located near Bryceville, or 19 miles north there in Middleburg. Now moving northeast at about 55, so maybe are we getting that northeasterly movement to kind of maybe resume here? That'll be an interesting question here as we look, or at least east-northeastern movement over the next little bit. So, new warning here includes Baldwin, some of the areas here. So let's go ahead and jump back on over to our other source. This is a severe thunderstorm warning now until 5 o'clock for southwestern Nassau and northwestern Duval counties at 4:32. A severe thunderstorm is located near Bryceville, 19 miles north of Middleburg, moving northeast at 55 miles an hour. Cisco Gardens, Bryceville, Nassau Village, Ratliff, Baldwin, and the White House Airfield underneath this. So just got to remain alert for a possible tornado here and toward this type of scenario. Can't let our guard down here as we're looking at things. Can't let our guard down here in case this were to tighten up. As we continue to watch, continue to track here. I know we still get those rainfall reports out of Wabuckula County. Some of those not as high as others. Some of these ones here, like towards St. Mark, got 7 inches, but still nothing here to play around with. Again, we had more like 9 inches. Some other areas there, that possibility in play. And now, officially, let me double check. Was it 8 or 9 there? On one of these reports, 8.07 near Crawfordville earlier on, I see in our system. So, again, that's further out toward the west, toward the east, though, in northeast Florida here. We're watching things with this severe thunderstorm warning. Again, we're talking about the areas further on over here. We're talking about areas further on over toward the east. But we have to cover over toward the west, toward McCulloch County there as well. So again, just gotta keep watching things here. Gotta keep tracking things in our 62 counties this afternoon. Again, giving you guys the very latest here. We're gonna go ahead and zoom on out a bit. We had that significant advisory. We were watching out toward the Big Bend. We saw things tighten up a little and then weaken on out some, but let's watch here and see if there's anything that we need to be concerned about. Nothing that I see here at this moment. A little bit of lighting down there, but further over to the east here, of course, where we have these severe thunderstorm warnings in play. That's tightening up some on the northern edge here. Ooh, I don't like that. Don't like that at all, folks. That's going to get us a tornado warning if we're not careful. I don't like that at all. The way that takes, because that can happen. One area kind of weakens. That one area didn't look as favorable, and now northern area is taking hold and moving right toward Baldwin. I would not be surprised here in the next few seconds or minutes we get a tornado warning for Baldwin. So early heads up here. You need to be ready. You need to have really, in theory, 1 foot in that tornado safe spot now around Baldwin in case we get a tornado warning issued for you guys. So it would be in the Duval County, and just a heads up, this could be interrupting those football games again. And I know Georgia, Alabama is playing, so I know, just reference here, if you guys have an interest in that, you can watch that on the CBS Sports website while you're watching tornado coverage with me, or on TV as well. They may actually do a split on that. Sometimes they do that. They did that event 6 years ago with the NFL action, where they have covered on one channel or another. But yeah, just got out ahead of it. We have a tornado warning now just popping up in our system right now. Tornado warning for Duval, Nassau, and Baker counties. At 4:37, a severe thunderstorm producing potentially a tornado, at least capable of it, was located near Bryceville. It's 19 miles north of Middleburg, but moving east at about 65 miles an hour here. Again, a tornado warning now being issued till 5 o'clock here, folks. Here's the red box. It goes, look at that population. This is hundreds of thousands of people underneath this warning. Not seeing everybody, or that many, if anybody, actually gets hit by a tornado in here, but there's at least a corridor that could get hit by a tornado that kind of be closer to I-10 here. So I got a tornado warning for Duval County until 5 o'clock now. We need to get folks into shelter. Again, a tornado warning. Let's pull up those safety tips. Let's take our other source here. With that, I think let's take the full graphic here. And you can see what we're talking about. The seek shelter inside a sturdy building. Get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Protect yourself from flying debris by putting on a bicycle helmet or a football helmet. We have a tornado potentially headed toward Baldwin. This looks like it has a chance to be surface-based, quite honestly. Because the way this came together back further to the west here, I don't like this. The other one didn't touch down, I don't think. This one very well could. Not saying it will, but it seems like it has a little bit, the images are matching up a little bit better here. The way this developed, under the other would have a tendency to be maybe a stronger tornado. If it got going, this may be a tendency to be a weaker one, but I think there might be a little bit higher probability this actually touches down here as it's headed for the Baldwin area. So we need folks in shelter around Baldwin here. Baldwin in western Duval County. This is a heads up that you need to take shelter right away here in Baldwin in western Duval County. We could get a tornado to touch down at any moment. We don't get them in Duval County very often. This could happen. Not out of the question here. You'd probably have next frame or two, I would think, based on how this is coming together. But could be wrong here. Let's just hope nothing comes together with this. But the way this was coming together was getting kind of concerning. 41 way, about 60 the other way. So went to about 100, but they're not completely gate to gate. But that process was happening here. There is some gate to gate here, it would seem, as this heads in that general direction. Again, I have a bunch of warnings on here. Let's take out the severe thunderstorm and just focus on the red box. That's your tornado warning here, my friends. That's your tornado warning for Duval County, for Jacksonville. That could be a potential for you guys later on. I know it's moving east. They're saying at 65. Honestly, it may not be moving quite that fast, but and it could have to get extended. It might not be into we're downtown right at 5, but you never know. Okay, looking here right now around Baldwin. Don't see debris definitively yet, which is good, but it still looks like it has not necessarily pulsed downward here. Yeah, I mean, as I look at that there, it went from not needing that. There you go, your tornado warning. That latest scan's about steady state, I would say. Steady state here, folks, with this tornado warning for Duval County here. We don't get these often, especially on a Saturday in football season. I mean, it's literally, this couldn't just wait one more weekend. I mean, for folks, I know this is going to be a mess here on the Jacksonville TV stations, and we wish this would just wait. We never had this. But my point being here, we have a tornado warning for Baldwin. We could have a tornado touching at any moment. Just north of I-10 here. We're going to be crossing 301 here pretty soon. Going to be crossing 301 here around Baldwin, Briceville, and Hugh. This is between you guys. We're just cross here. Again, we didn't have a risk earlier today, but we had mentioned it. There was a risk early, even though there wasn't a formal risk. We mentioned it way back Tuesday night. There could be strong storms, and well, that has evolved into a tornado risk here across parts of our area, some of the most populated parts of our area. So again, that's what we're in the air right now to protect you, protect your friends, protect your family. So again, just checking everything here on our different modes. Keep you guys safe here. Trying to keep everybody safe. Everybody informed here. I know we could look at some cameras around here. It may be worth it because we may be able to get something on this. Would it be rain wrap? Well, it could be here. Unlike the other one, it could be, but if we can get a camera just west, maybe of Baldwin, near Baldwin on I-10, it may be a good idea. Let's check for debris. That really weakened in that last frame. Let's see if we have anything. Because sometimes I know when it weakens, it actually could be meaning it's touching down and then falls apart real quick on us here. Not saying that's going to happen, but I don't see the debris at this moment. Let's see though, if we can, I'm going to try to effort some images. Just bear with me. It's a one-man band. It's all about protecting you, all about protecting your friends, and all about protecting your family here on this Saturday afternoon. So, again, I'm just trying to give you guys everything you need here in that regard, and just letting you guys know here what the storyline is. So, again, let's go ahead and keep looking around here. We're just going to go ahead and keep checking all of our tools here in the Weather Center that we have at our disposal around Baldwin. Okay, looks like the cameras, they are not a live view over there now. For whatever reason, that is not up at this point. So, okay, so it wouldn't really help us then. We have some live views further over to the east, but probably a little too far for now, but we'll keep those in mind in case this recycles. But the threat is still there, but it's a good bit less than the stick debris again. Good bit less than 5 minutes ago. You can see that there may be something in there. I don't think there is, but you see a little bit of something in here. But you're looking for a big blue area, and if you see it, I mean, it'll be something that's pretty clear. I mean, not quite honestly. When you have that situation coming together, if it's a significant type of tornado, we're not seeing that, especially if it's close to the radar, it'd be pretty clear. So just cross our fingers here. Maybe just hope everything works out with this. Latest scan just pushed it a good bit closer into Baldwin. So we're at 445 right now. Just checking here. Still no debris, which is a great sign, because I thought we might get it there the way that was coming together. It may have been very close. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a funnel there. Maybe it was just off the ground even. That's how close we were with that. I feel like maybe it just avoided becoming a tornado and actually touching down here, though. But again, just trying to give you guys the very latest on this type of situation. I know power, I think, flickering a little bit where we're at. A little bit unusual here, considering we're not really seeing anything around where we're at in Bradford County, but nonetheless here, just trying to give you guys the latest. Let's check out Florida power outages here, poweroutage.us. Okay, I don't see any outages in Duval County yet, or Baker even, which is great news again. Again, things in this situation can get very close to touching, and if they do, they can really cause problems. And got very close around Lake City, got very close as it was coming toward Baldwin. Don't think it happened, which is great news, but very, very close. And it may have for a moment, you never know. Or it could still happen, but we still got a tornado warning in place. You can't let your guard down. But just based on the meteorology of things, it seems like, and as you look at this, of course, it's going to tighten back up just a bit there, I believe. Yeah, that latest, you saw the one scan, it kind of faded, now it's tightening up again. Just didn't want to let it go. So again, can't let our guard down here. There's still that notch in there right around Baldwin, folks. Getting off the interstate, maybe unaware, or maybe getting off because their phone is telling about a tornado warning, and then they're kind of actually getting off, especially if they're getting off just north of it. If you're having to get off the interstate at Baldwin right now, not that you have much time, you want to get off to the south. You'd want to go, if you're getting off, you'd want to go to the south here along 301, not to the north. Just for reference here, because the tornado will be just north of I-10 and toward this area here if we have one. So, again, 301 I-10 corridor being impacted here. I know some nasty weather headed for Jacksonville Airport as well. Gusts there over 35 knots expected over the next bit. But again, you can kind of see there, just the overall pattern. And we have a tornado warning for some very, very highly populated areas here this afternoon. We started off earlier on with a thunderstorm warning in Suwannee. We had flash flood warnings here and there, but we didn't come on for those. We talked about what color threat as it was happening earlier on, and that was materializing there a little bit more so. But we had a tornado warning jump for Lake City. We threaded the weekend enough to go out, and then we came back for a thunderstorm warning from McClinney. Things that ramped up, and then that escalated to a tornado warning here as this was moving toward Baldwin in part of Duval County. So, again, just continuing to watch here, continuing to track, continuing to give you guys the very latest here right around US 301. We're trying to let you guys know what is going on here. Again, it's not Stark, but if you're headed from Stark off 301, you could be, if you're headed north of I-10, you could be putting yourself in some danger here. You don't want to do that, obviously. You don't want to do that, so. Okay, we're just going to keep looking at things as we're trying to give you guys the latest updates. Again, a very tricky situation here. Saturday afternoon, folks. We're trying to watch college football, and some stations having to make decisions on whether to interrupt or not. Very tough calls here, but right now, in terms of just having to be on here on some broadcast platform, when you have a tornado warning for the metro, which what we have, that's the storyline right now. So, again, we're trying to keep you guys updated. We're here. We're letting you guys know here the story. I'm just checking all my different sources here. Sometimes when this is a one-man band, we're trying to do the best we can here in this type of circumstance. So, again, just checking some information here as it comes on in. To the Weather Center. Tornado warning for the Baldwin area right now. That's what we're dealing with right now. And this is translating a little bit further off toward the east. Now that latest radar scan kind of telling that story there. A little bit of that translation off toward the east here in the overall progression. So that's kind of the overall storyline here at this point. Again, that's what we're kind of tracking as this timeline gets further and further along. So, again, we're just trying to see what we're dealing with. It's a very busy afternoon, obviously, here in the Weather Center. So, again, our system's working very hard. I'm working very hard to give you guys the very latest here. Let me go ahead and see what we have here. Okay, this updated the tornado warning. 4:50 here now. Again, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado now closer somewhat to Briceville, but really, I still would say closer to Baldwin, the official text is saying closer to Briceville now. 14 miles west of downtown Jacksonville, moving east or so, about 50 miles an hour. A little bit of northerly component we talked about here at points as well. So, again, there's Baldwin. There's still some rotation here. I mean, still no debris, though, which is great. We don't want debris, obviously. And if we can get out of this without any touchdown, any damage, which I don't think we've had so far, that'd be really great news. I know your day is being disrupted by having to take shelter, taking precautions, and the like, but we don't want damage here. That's why we're on here, the air, because we want to prevent, if there is damage, we can't prevent that, but we can prevent injuries here. We can prevent folks from putting themselves in harm's way. That's why we have to give you the notice, the notification here for this potential. As I see, they just issued here an advisory. I bet it's further back to the west. It is. It has to be. This area west here of, it looks like State Road 121. We're seeing some weak rotation now in Baker. So a significant advisory for that. No warning, but could have a land spout, which is technically kind of a tornado, kind of not. Here is something so weak it doesn't really rate there on the scale, but not out of the question. There probably winds closer to 40 miles an hour back there, but this here obviously could be quite a bit stronger. Could be where we have an EF0 type tornado in this situation right now, where winds could be 65 plus miles an hour here east side of Baldwin right now in Duval County. Again, I know it's not as populated out there in that part of the county around Baldwin, but I mean, as it would be toward Jacksonville, there's still quite a few folks out there, and folks getting off the interstate unaware, potentially putting themselves in harm's way. Again, if you're getting off the interstate, it's a tricky situation. If you're getting off at Baldwin, you're wanting to get off there going south versus going north here along 301. That's what we were alluding to here a moment ago. So, Again, tornado warning here on the screen. Just trying to give you guys the very latest here. Again, we had the thunderstorm warning from McClenny, but that escalated into a tornado warning now with this area closer toward Baldwin. So I know it kind of had the other area here earlier on. It kind of weakened out some. Let me go ahead and show you a loop of that actually if we can. Just bear with me here. Let me check everything here at our disposal. We're going to work our systems pretty hard here today, but haven't had to do it in a while, but we're having to do it today here to keep you guys safe, keep you guys informed here. We'll see how the trends go, but if they continue, I feel like it may be back to a severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible here over the next little bit. So again, we're tracking things right now toward Duval County. Again, Jacksonville here. Again, a tornado warning. A red box. Again, causing us some issues here. Again, Jacksonville in the line of concern here. So, I mean, right now, not right into town. Officially, all of Duval is kind of Jacksonville. But that's kind of the story of the geography. But again, Baldwin, a separate entity in a way. So, again, let's go ahead and get that loop here up on the screen. I think we have it ready now. It goes pretty slow. Kind of see how we progress the warnings here over the last. But you had the stuff coming out of Taylor County, Lafayette, and Suwannee. We had the warning, Columbia, and you see we had the warning stuff kind of the northern component there. Well, that kind of fell off, but in a little bit to the south, kind of focusing here as it comes more easterly at points into Duval County. So again, just kind of watching the progression. You can see where the polygons are aimed, and they kind of switch back a little bit here. They kind of switch back, and we just got a new warning. It's a thunderstorm warning now for Duval County until 5:30. So let's see where we're at with this. Hopefully that means we're going to get rid of this tornado warning here soon. That thing kind of spun up there for a moment, but then kind of went back away again. Let's go ahead and zoom back on in here if we can. Again, we're trying to give you guys the very latest to protect you, your friends, your family here. Let me see what we got. If there's any questions or any comments here. Again, just thanks so much for tuning in, everybody, and watching out there. Suzanne, Top Cat here. Thanks so much for watching here. Right now, stock's looking good. Overall, we'll keep watching to make sure the overall threat is focusing a little more north. It would seem like Butler, there's still a threat out there to some degree, but you can kind of see there. We're not seeing anything there right at this moment. We'll keep watching. We'll keep tracking. Let's go ahead and go further out. You see Lake City right now, still in the rest, a little bit of maybe an air mass that wouldn't maybe quite as favorable as it was earlier on, but we shall see. And then as we get even further out, let's take off the tornado warning here banner. You can see flash flood warning still for McCulloch County because all that rain they've had there last 12 hours. That yellow really telling a story. We didn't even have a flood warning situation earlier on, but then it became a flash flood warning because got that water to rapidly there increase as we're looking toward that area. There. Because we ended up seeing a situation 8-9 inches coming together there between Smith Creek and Crawfordville. There, 8-9 inches. And they had a good bit there for a while. I mean, 4 or 5, but that's not enough to really cause a big problem. But then you get a bunch here, another couple inches real quick. And that really puts you over the edge, it would seem. So let's get further back to the east. Some of the areas of orange, 4 or 5 inches today. And we really had that flood watch kind of shift on us here last minute as well. Things kind of shifted around. Tricky setup here overall here in the meteorology world. Things did not come together like they were supposed to yesterday to the west. So lower threat here today, and we ended up getting more than what they got out toward the west in terms of at least warnings and in rainfall. There was the flooding potential right coming into play here, focusing on some of our backyards. So again, continuing to watch here. South of McClenny, a little weak rotation, but this has a tornado threat to the north here around Baldwin. Now that warning to the south, I don't know if that actually encompasses. Let's see. We're getting a bunch of, this is something. We're getting a bunch of little circulations here. I'm hoping maybe that'll be a sign that we don't have any dominant circulation, and then be some good news here. But again, just continuing to watch, continuing to track here. You have that green, you have that red there. A little bit of that to the north there, right along US 90. Got a little bit of stuff to the south, and this right here could be something out ahead. Is that the? That kind of is more, and that's more really the inflow here, which honestly would not be as concerning to me. So I feel like they're probably going maybe another severe thunderstorm warning, or let's see, the one goes to 5, the tornado warning goes to 5, the one at the bottom goes to 5:30. They may add another thunderstorm warning here. I feel like the tornado warning, we're less than a minute away from that maybe being dropped anyway. I feel like that probably be dropped. You never know. But I feel like that red box probably goes away, but we'll probably need to stick with this because it's still in a highly populated area with severe thunderstorm conditions here on a Saturday afternoon going into evening now as we get closer to sunset over the next little bit. Again, we're at 4:59 right now. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center, trying to keep you guys safe, trying to keep you guys informed. Again, let's see what we got here. The red box should go away in a matter of seconds, which would be great news. It'd be great news here if that red box went away. That would indicate the threat here decaying a little bit. That threat would be one that's dropping off some, which would be good. But you never know here in these type of situations. Okay, so the tornado warning for now went away. The severe thunderstorm warning, they expired to 1. We still have this other one. They may issue another thunderstorm warning in here to cover. We'll see. Maybe we stick with the one where we have all the inflow here and say the other stuff's so severe, but we shall see. Not out of the question. Again, we're at 5 o'clock right now on the clock. At that time. Again, this is moving toward I-295 here as we're looking at things in the Weather Center. As we're trying to give you guys the very latest on exactly what's going on. The latest on exactly what's happening. Again, trying to let you guys know here the latest details. Let's see this polygon here. Just here at 454. Jacksonville, Cecil Field, NAS Jacks, Normandy, Arteagan, Jacksonville Heights here. Underneath the severe thunderstorm warning. No tornado possible tag in this one, which is good. Good news at this moment as we put the winds up. I don't see a lot of those numbers popping, which is good too. But little rogue area here in Putnam County, kind of interesting. We'll watch it because there's enough instability. Hopefully the parameters really don't have enough down there because we're not along a boundary necessarily. Talking about a warm front boundary, but still, we'll watch it. This doesn't look as strong either. This here, honestly, I mean, there's a lot of inflow here, and we'll keep watching it. I'm not sure because I feel like we may not be getting this all to reach, and if we're more rural area, I think I'd wrap it up here at this point. But because we're in Duval County, every backyard here, you have an issue potentially when there's so many more. Is what I'm trying to say. Like if you had this in a more rural area, if it produced over one little spot, good chance nobody's out there. But if this produces over one backyard, kind of comes together, then you have some damage and potential problems. So I'll stick with it a little longer here. If we keep seeing the process here just falling off some, I'll wrap it up. It may just be heavy rain, some lightning here, maybe tiny hail, maybe. I'm not really sure about that, but it's not out of the question. We could be seeing a little bit of hail in here. Penny size, what they're saying here with the warning, but that's technically not severe. They changed that criteria years ago. Used to be 3/4 of an inch, but it has to be an inch now. So we'd have a lot more warnings if they had that down, and we don't want that really because 3/4 of an inch is not really considered damaging when an inch is, so not meeting that criteria. Only reason it's being warned right now is for the wind potential, no tornado risk being noted. I don't see near as much rotation as I did earlier on. Well, okay, we're going to get a tornado warning anyway, though, so let's do this again. As I say that, right on cue, I guess. Don't really see a lot there. Maybe they're seeing something on the camera or something. Okay, so they're going to do the tornado warning for downtown Jacksonville. So let's go ahead and take this then. Right near the interstate. Right near the interstate here. At about 5:02, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Normandy or 9 miles west of Jacksonville, moving east at 25 miles an hour. See, they're seeing this more in the base velocity. So we're talking about Talleyrand and the White House airfield. They're about 5:30. So again, let's go ahead and get folks into shelter here then. Officially, there's another tornado warning. I'm not seeing a lot, but you never know. Sometimes things are so low down here on the radar, you don't get a good look at things occasionally. So erring on the side of caution. You've seen another tornado warning in here. Just trying to see, is there any, that looked a little bit different there. Let's make sure that's just inflow. I think that is, but still think that is, but I'm not as 100% maybe certain as I was earlier on. So let's see. Okay, we're checking here the very latest to protect you, protect your friends, protect your family here on all the different platforms. Again, yet another tornado warning. It's our policy to be on for all tornado warning storms across the 62 counties here. Let me switch this back over as I'm trying to get a camera up here. Let's see, that's right there near, it looks like County Road 115 and I-10. So, County Road 115 and I-10. Just continuing to watch here. Trying to give you guys the very latest. Give you guys the very latest on what's going on. It's west of 95. Just trying to match things up on our maps here a bit. I might not be able to match them up perfectly, but try to do our best here if we can. Just see if we can kind of get a good look at what's going on. Some of these live views do start to come into play out here. Just looking north. I don't know if it is or not. I want to make sure we get one faces this way, whatever way wherever we're at here. If you get what I'm saying. So again, another tornado warning for Duval County. We're just trying to give you guys the very latest here. It's just so dark skies, honestly. Let's just show it while we have it. While we have it in our system. Let's go ahead and pull this one up. Pull this one up. I-10 west of Chafee Road here. You can see the dark skies here, telling the story in the Florida 5-1 perspective. Let's just go ahead and keep looking here and checking for more. By the way, we're now being told Crawfordville, there's a report of flash flooding on Old Bethel Road. Probably from earlier on. It's just being relayed now. This information further out toward the west here in McCulloch County, that flash flood situation there. Again, just continuing to watch here. Some of our cameras again. I don't have anybody in the pack or anything like picking out cameras to use. I have to do this as I'm talking to you guys. So try to figure out the best shots here, the situation as they become available here, really. Best camera views. And this might say some backups on the road, which isn't great to have when you have inclement, potentially severe tornadic weather in the region here. Again, there's this camera shot. Look at all that backup on the road. It's very nasty weather. Have this backup in here. See folks with their flashers on and the like. With a tornado warning in play right now. Another one for Duval County. This one going about 5:30. So for another officially 23 minutes here. Thinking things might be weakening off some, but seeing enough of that tightening there to take place where the service started to issue a new tornado warning. So again, just continuing to watch here, continuing to track, trying to give you guys the very latest here on what we're dealing with and what we're doing. A tricky situation here for sure. It's a full event for some. I mean, around Circle, we haven't really seen precipitation here become a storyline even. So just kind of see how things are a lot more local. We had some rain last night, and it looked like conditions getting a little bit nastier here right now on this camera side. It looks like things are deteriorating now here at I-10 a mile marker 352.8. So again, trying to give you guys the very latest. It does not look pleasant out there right now for sure. Again, trying to tell in that weather story. Folks having to go very slow here with the traffic back up in these very nasty conditions. Stay safe out there on these roads for sure on this Saturday as we get toward that sunset period. It doesn't look great there on that Florida 501 perspective. So again, tornado warning here for areas of Duval County. Let's just keep making sure folks are taking shelter. It looks like really getting slow out there. Hopefully there's no issues here with anything over the road or the like. As we're continuing to give you guys this perspective. Let's go ahead, shift away from this right now. Again, we have a tornado warning in play. Let's go back to velocity. I know you can see some of these brighter colors here, some stronger winds along the I-10 corridor, if nothing else, whether there's a tornado or not here. Some stronger winds along this I-10 corridor, and that definitely can cause some issues here. So again, that can cause some damage, a tree to fall, something like that here in the metro as we get closer toward that sunset period. I know it'd be harder to see anything, whether you could see it or not. It might be determined if things are rain wrapped. Determined by if things are rain wrapped, but nonetheless, you gotta be careful here in this setup. Again, checking everything we have here, all of our different sources. And that red box is a tornado warning for parts of Duval County here until 5:30. Again, that rotation being detected within the Doppler algorithms here. You gotta take those tornado precautions. Again, you need to be taking shelter here to protect you. If it's just you, of course, if there's friends with you or your family, they need to be doing so as well in this type of situation. So, again, that's where we're at right now, 5:10 on the clock on this Saturday, on this December the 2nd, 2023. So, again, we're just trying to keep you guys alerted to this potential danger here. This potential danger. Again, let's see what we got. You see some more rain to the west. Now, eventually, we'll have the parameter being able to come together as much here, which would be great news. As we look ahead, I know we didn't have a formal risk for the east today as we did for the west. And interesting how things kind of took place more in the energy-rich area here, that potential at least. But there's no formal risk tomorrow. Hopefully, that's a good sign. But we'll keep watching. We'll keep tracking. But again, 5:11 right now. You see that rain over Georgia, that light to moderate rain, so it really be harder to get some stuff up there. Let's see our thunderstorm risk here even. I mean, they're in that. They could get a thunderstorm up there. Charlotte, less likely. I know that's important for that big football game tonight. But again, just checking things here as we're kind of giving you guys the very latest. You see that risk here further south, instability further south. That's kind of where you have the interaction of the shifting of the winds and the energy here is where you have that threat coming together because we have a wind shift here of a warm front, and then you have spin that can come together along that, and that's what we're having the issue with here right now. A pesky warm front for sure. Had these over the years, and they can definitely be problematic at times. So seeing some rotation warning, it's a thunderstorm warning though, and the tornado warning, which is kind of interesting. But again, just continuing to watch here. Let's keep checking things. Yeah, that definitely looks like it's more within the other box right now. as we're looking at some of the different tilts. Trying to give you guys the very latest here. Protect you, protect your friends, protect your family. Again, tricky setup for sure. Just the overall grand scheme of things. Trying to give you guys the very latest here. Sticking with it. We're at 513 right now. Looks like we just got a new update. Just bear with me here. Looks like something new just came in. A new tornado warning. Okay. New tornado warning now for that southern area now within Duval County. Okay, so we have that hook now. We have a new tornado warning to 545 for parts of Duval County here. So at 513, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located over Ortega or near Jacksonville. I mean, it's kind of all relative in some ways, but moving with Jacksonville anyway, but moving east at about 35 miles an hour. This dangerous storm will be near Jacksonville, San Marco, and NS Jax over the next few moments. About 520, Bay Meadows around 525, University of North Florida around 530, and Craig Field around 535. And this will also impact Jacksonville Heights here. This will also impact Jacksonville Heights, folks. So, again, a tricky situation here for sure. It's all about trying to keep folks safe, all about trying to keep folks informed here. And that's what we're trying to do here. As things get dark outside, unfortunately, which can make things a little bit harder to see in this type of situation. A little bit harder in terms of that nocturnal factor. That can definitely be an issue for us. So we have to take heed of that as well. I mean, no formal tornado watch or anything. We had one out to the west late last night and didn't really get anything. Ironically, and this can happen sometimes. Ironically, we've gotten a slew of tornado warnings across our area here this afternoon at this point, I would call it. And nothing confirmed though so far, which is great. But we have to have these warnings here because you just gotta have some notice in case that potential does come to fruition. There are some different indices here that we can look at, but then really just even the radar. I mean, radar tools here. I mean, we have some indices of that. We have other indices and parameters. There's enough there that we have to have these warnings here in play based on just the overall factors here potentially coming together. So, again, let's just go ahead as you look at hook echoes and the like, just radar meteorology in some ways. But again, trying to give you guys the very latest 2 tornado warnings right now for parts of Duval County. I'll go back to velocity here in just one moment. Go back to velocity here in just one moment. As we keep giving you guys the very latest here. A tricky situation for sure. That's sometimes how it plays out here across the region. Sometimes how it can play out here across the viewing area. Let's go back on over to velocity. So you see the wind along I-10, and then maybe the rotation stronger just toward the south here. Don't really see any debris. It's just inflow still as we get closer toward the St. Johns River. Again, trying to let you guys know what's going on here for sure in these type of situations. Again, we got everything covered here. We got everything covered. Making sure that you guys know what the deal is here. Let's go ahead and zoom back out a little bit. You can kind of see here, we don't have much in the wind pattern further up, but right here, a lot of, it's kind of interesting because it doesn't look as much tornadic as it just does. A lot of inflow, maybe a lot of wind in there, but you never know. Something could start to spin up along the St. Johns here. Sometimes it could use that, maybe, possibly, as it kind of goes back across and becomes an issue. just kind of in theory, maybe something could happen like that. We'll see. Not saying it will by any stretch of the imagination, but again, we're just trying to give you guys the very latest here. Been with you for a while, a long time here, a very busy day. It's turned out to be here in the Weather Center on this Saturday. Even though we haven't had any confirmation of anything. Let's see what our GA, if we're starting to get some power outages, what our power outage map is showing over there. Probably having an uptick. Okay, 193 customers in the dark. So a few out toward Baldwin, a few south of Briceville, and then some closer to I-10, like right where we've been tracking some of this stuff. So not too many though, which is good, but there are some starting to up in our maps at least. So, that's something that is worth noting. At least some of this wind, or at least there's the rain combination even getting down to the surface and causing some problems. So again, yes, if you're seeing this right, you're probably surprised by it. In some ways, we said there would be a chance, but fans have definitely, in terms of the warning count, maybe not the damage, but the warning count have definitely overachieved here today. We have 2 red boxes, 2 separate tornado polygons, really the same area. It's just kind of from north to south, but 2 tornado warnings in play for Duval County here, because there is potential tornadic activity in the Jacksonville metro area. So you're supposed to take shelter here, get as many walls between you and the outside as possible, protect yourself from flying debris by putting on that football helmet or bicycle helmet. That's something you can do in these type of circumstances here, and these type of scenarios to stay safe. Again, a tornado warning. Can't let your guard down here when you have something like this in play. A tricky situation. I know it's the last Saturday, really, college football before that playoff committee makes their decisions, so it's very poor timing here. But a tornado warning threat never comes at a good time. At least it's not during the night here. That's good news. But again, we're watching things here right now. These folks hopefully are aware of this potential. But you can see here, Duval County, Jacksonville, downtown getting heavy rain. Officially under tornado warning there. Feel like the threat might be maybe just south, but you're under the tornado warning. It's just tricky enough. You gotta take shelter just to be safe here. There could be lightning in there anyway, so even if you don't have a tornado, that's a more widespread type of threat here in some ways. So again, just gotta be taking shelter here around Duval County. Again, definitely a disruptive situation here as we're continuing to watch. One warning goes to 5:30. That is the warning further up toward the north. The southern tornado warning goes to 5:45. So they might be just trying to let that right out at this point. The one here to the north, well, the southern one looks a little bit more possible. So again, I just continuing to track, continuing to watch here. I'm just trying to give you guys the very latest. Tricky situation. A tricky situation. Again, right toward the St. Johns River. I know. Kind of ironic too. I know it. Apparently, from my understanding here, it looks like Jacksonville CBS has kind of mainly been sticking with that SEC championship game. It's the last ever SEC game after almost 3 decades on CBS, and in terms of the football package. And wow, what a way in terms of the Jacksonville market for that situation to wrap up with tornado warnings and crawls and the like being a storyline during that, and interruptions at points maybe as well, not just covered in the other channels. But again, you can see here, looking at our Doppler technology again in Duval County here, we're just seeing 2 tornado warnings right now. Like, it's all about taking precaution here in case we have a possible tornado. So again, I'm checking some other sources here for anything that might be of relevance. And just trying to see everything that's happening. Let's go to our GDR part. We don't see this on the air very much, but it says upscale growth, and it's kind of the northern part of the southern polygon right now. I mean, that would be right there near Keynes Avenue, maybe, but the reason I'm not pinpointing stuff really down to the like street level here too much is because, honestly, it's kind of broad, and I'd probably indicate we're probably not seeing a tornado situation, but it can't be ruled out here. Definitely could have some damaging winds here, knocking out power and the like, and maybe you get one frame here where you get a tornado touchdown. That's when we got to be on guard here, just in case here, but it looks pretty messy, quite honestly, at this point from a tornado perspective. Again, it's kind of gone up and down here, as we've seen, as we've watched it progress into this. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. But again, just trying to give you guys the very latest. Effort in all of our different sources here to let you guys know what's happening. Let's go back over to our broad view here. If we can, let's go to this one. You can see, look how warm it is toward Gainesville. Right now, I don't have the boundary of interacting down there, which is good. Since things have kind of shifted on us, they really haven't been matching up to the models as you go too far out. Let me look at the modeling now, because we have these 2 tornado warnings for Duval County. Let's see if this threat, if the models say the parameters will continue longer, then they really are gone up, though, based on what we saw in the models, based on what we were maybe expecting earlier on, to some degree in supercell composite. But then hopefully we're starting to get this to break some. Can't rule out some more warnings, though, don't get me wrong. That'd be very tricky during games we get later on, to say the least. But we're on here no matter what under the tornado warning within our 62 counties. So right now I'm hopeful that we won't get tornado warnings as we look toward 8 o'clock, and I know that big FSU game. But if we have any, we'll be on live like we're doing now. Like we're doing right now during that big Georgia game against Alabama, giving you the latest information to protect you, protect your friends, and protect your families. So again, could get a good bit of rain in some of these areas. I'm seeing a strip here around Bradford, maybe an inch or two. Some areas are quite a bit more up in maybe South Georgia, 2-3 inches. This pesky warm front here causing us problems on this Saturday, December 2nd, 2023. Let's go ahead and keep looking here. I know we talked about that potential Tuesday about us having these, warnings possibly, but honestly, we were hoping threat has gone down enough that this wouldn't happen. But unfortunately, even if maybe the stuff hadn't come to fruition, the surface for the most part, we did have the flooding toward McCullough, of course, and some issues there. But hopefully, this hadn't come to fruition toward the surface. Still, has been a day that's been very active here in terms of the number of warnings, and it's going to be on the air here for an extended period of time. So, again, 5:26 right now. You can see these 2 red boxes just sticking with us here. Again, we have to be on when we have these situations. We have a warning in Duval. This looks pretty disorganized right now, but sometimes you get some issues when you're right at the radar like this. Let's check Moody. I know it's way further up, but it might help us out here at this point because we're so... And that kind of is why maybe we have it then, because the Jackson radar, maybe the northern one not so much, but I don't know, that one needs to probably go away. But that southern polygon there, it looks a lot clearer off of the Moody. It might just be the rotation further up, so not really reaching, because that's way higher up there with the highs. We're at 8,000 feet up there, and then on the Jacksonville radar, we're only at about 800 feet, and kind of looks like more of this contamination down here, quite honestly. So again, I'm just giving you guys the very latest. I'm trying to give you guys everything you need to be forewarned here. Everything you need to be forewarned. Again, 2 tornado warnings in Duval County right now, in the metro, Jacksonville, holiday shopping, college football, all being to some degrees disrupted here by this situation. So, okay, Hurlon Airport, Peak wind gusts to 43 miles an hour, 525. So really not getting that strong of wind near the surface so far, but you have these measurement sites that are only at certain spots. In between, winds could be stronger, of course, and that generally, in these situations of weather, generally, when you have a tornado, I mean, that would probably be the case. You'd rarely get an actual site getting it, just based on the spatial patterns and the like. So, again, just continuing to track things. We're live with you right now. Tornado warning. Seek shelter inside that sturdy building. Get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Protect yourself from flying the river, putting that football helmet on or bicycle helmet on. If you feel that's needed for you, I would just say have it by. You don't need to probably put it on at this moment, but if you're that freight train noise, you want to be able to put it right on there. I know mobile homes aren't the best places to be in these situations either, but I mean, really, I know sometimes you have situations where you're really not in an ideal spot in a mobile home. You really want to be in a sturdier structure if you can. So again, you see all that heavy rain right in Duval County, right in Jacksonville. We have tornado warnings. We're not just staying on to stay on here. If these were thunderstorm warnings in Duval, we may still be on, but other areas of the region not so much. But tornado warning, we have to be on anywhere. Stuff looks pretty disorganized here at this point, quite honestly. Again, we saw further up how it didn't look that way out of Moody, which is interesting. So we have to just keep watching, keep tracking, but we'll just keep looking at all of our different scans. I know. Let's check down here in Putnam again. There's no type of warning down here. A little bit weak rotation though, which is interesting, but some of the stuff even in St. John's, but not enough for a warning. This honestly looks less and less organized. They just let the one expire. It looks like at 5:30 to the north. Now that's what we have. I mean, there's some wind there, but at this point, I mean, it's right in the metro. They don't want to let it go. I mean, way up there aloft, you see how much stronger the winds look, but let's kind of look at our site. It had 29. I mean, you never know in here. You never know. We don't want to count the chickens before they hatch, per se. I just don't know if there's a lot there at this point, based on the history of all this. But you never know. You're right in the metro area. One little touchdown could actually be pretty problematic. This is the population density, so can't let our guard down here. Fairly slow moving in some ways, it seems like. I know the official speed 35 right now. Just definitely taking a little bit to get across the region as we continue here with the very latest. Continue to provide the very latest here. I know. Let's go ahead. Keep checking here. Things look a little bit more disorganized even. But there's a tornado warning in Duval County, so we have to stick with it. Any tornado warning in our area will be sticking with it until they drop it. Again, there's your covered map. You can see Duval County here. That's part of our 62 counties, of course. And that's where we're at right now with this. We're in Bradford, but Duval is part of Jacksonville here. Of course, that's where we're at. That's what's being impacted. Part of Jacksonville right now with this possible tornado. I know a couple times we saw stuff pulse up at the time we had the tornado warnings initially issued. One near Baldwin, one near Lake City. Those are the two times I was pretty concerned because we always saw the pulsing up, but we never saw a debris signature or any damage reports in turn. Some of these other circulations have been kind of on the weaker side, but they've been there enough. We still have to be kind of careful here. We still have to be kind of careful here in these type of circumstances, just in case something drops. So, okay, 5:32 right now. I know we still got flash flood warning out toward the west here as well, out toward Wakulla, Franklin, and Liberty there. Further off toward the east, we have this tornado warning now for parts of Duval County. So 5:45 the expiration here, 5:45 the expiration there, Again, hopefully we'll be done with these, but there'll still be a chance of stuff trying to re-spin up. As we lose the daytime heating, that should help us out some, I would think, here in this type of setup. But we have a front still in the vicinity. I know everything is way underachieved out to the west here in terms of warnings. Last couple days here or so, and today overachieves right over our area. So in terms of warnings, at least, maybe not damage or anything that actually happens, but in terms of that radar algorithms are really picking up a lot to suggest there could be a threat closer toward the surface. No debris signatures that I've seen so far definitively. I know temperatures in Central Florida really warm. I mean, we had some pretty warm air down in our areas, but down there, 86 in Fort Myers, 82 in Tampa today with the climate reports coming out. So that kind of tells a story here. Some interesting numbers there. Again, we're still with you guys. Still trying to give you guys the very latest. Still a tornado warning officially for Duval here. I just don't want to give up on this here, just in case something were to recycle. I mean, you see how much different it looks from Moody, and that's why they're not giving up. I think, because a Moody radar is way up there, and that means more loft rotation, but right there, US 90, US 1, got pretty tight rotation from that view. Let's check this at a little higher number, because we keep showing this. Let's go up a little on the tilt. Even there, not showing much. There might be some blockage, though. I just wonder. That's what they're thinking is happening, because there's no reason to keep warning this. I wouldn't think from these scans, but that other radar scan tells a whole different story. But really, not far up, you're not going to know for sure what's going on here. But maybe there's kind of going in between them, and they see enough to kind of keep this going here a little bit longer. We shall see. If we were to extend this warning out of Jacksonville Beach there, and the line of concern, some lighting already popping up out there, don't be near the water at this point with that around, and it's going to be dark here soon too anyway. So just whenever thunder roars, go indoors. I haven't really said that too much today because it's been more about thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings. I mean, severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings. But nonetheless here, we just have to remind you guys of that. It's not summertime, but still can be an issue. And a flash flood warning, we've been talking about that too. Remember, turn around, don't drown out there. If all that rain causing issues like around Crawfordville earlier on, we talked about that. Okay, so they had a situation where they had some flooding on Old Bethel Road reported there by the public via social media. So, okay, a little bit tighter rotation. I mean, small increments here. Just around, it looks like State Road 228 in Duval County. I don't think it's really that much of an uptick, but our algorithm was picking up on it a little. Our shear marker here. So again, kind of what we're dealing with right now. I've been with you for a long time, folks. These marginal slash officially it wasn't a risk even early on out over this area. Days don't generally go like this around here. This many warnings. But that's what we're dealing with today. Sometimes things overachieve. Maybe not in terms of damage, but in terms of warnings. Some of these definitely needed here, for sure. Some of them have looked a little bit weaker, though, in the grand scheme of things here at times, but maybe enough just to trigger it. I mean, maybe they're trying to just, because we've had some honestly missed here over the years, maybe they're trying to issue a few more of these just to make sure we don't miss one, which can be a good method here. I know it sometimes it gets a little bit annoying, but it's a good way to do things in some ways, actually, and if that's what they're trying to do here. I know you have some false alarms, maybe that number goes up, but then as you see the box go away at the moment, I'll talk about that here in a second, but the false alarm number, they go up a little, but you don't want to, maybe you don't miss as many of the accidental touchdowns, because that is really problematic when we have so many that we have these touchdowns that we don't have a warning on. So it's a give and take here. Again, tricky environment. Okay, still the red box go away. We still technically had to warn to 5:45, but they're saying they're not going to extend this again here at this point. They're not going to extend this here at this point. I know we've had that happen before to some degree, and then eventually we'll go back with a tornado warning. But right now that means the warning is still, even though it's not on the screen, technically it's still going to go to 5:45. They did not just cancel it outright, so technically we still have another 8 minutes here with this. But the storm, which prompted a warning, is weakened below severe limits and appeared no longer capable of producing a tornado. Therefore, a warning to be allowed to expire. However, gusty winds are still possible with the thunderstorms. So that's what we want to hear. Everything. I mean, you don't want gusty winds, but it's a lot better than a tornado risk here. So hopefully that weakening continues here, and even though it's not on the screen, technically it's still there for another 7 minutes. So we have to stay on here officially for another 7 minutes. But then if the trends continue here, then we won't have an extension out or Jack's beats. And now comes off the screen, you think, well, it's gone. And a lot of folks, even in broadcast, kind of think that. I used to think that, but technically this red box, even though it's on the screen, I pulled it back in our loop. It's still technically there. It's still technically in effect, I should say, until the mark if they hit expire in the system or they hit cancel. That means it's done immediately. So we still technically have it, even though it's not showing up here when you go forward. But that's the nomenclature. The threat's weakening though when they expire it like that. They think it's diminishing some, at least in the very short term, which hopefully translates to long term here. And we can let you guys enjoy the rest of the day and hopefully have an old victory here tonight in terms of college football. I know our Georgia Bulldog fans that are watching, including some FSU fans here today, not having a good day so far. Looks like Georgia down 17-7 at halftime against Alabama, but we shall see. I know playoff races and the like are really a big factor there. Just hopefully that's what we're talking about the rest of the day here. Not on air, but in your house, and not having to talk about any more tornado type of threats here materializing throughout the rest of the afternoon, and now as we're really getting toward the evening and the nighttime. So, again, looking at power added numbers, 2,843 out in the state of Florida, according to poweradded.us. It's not very many. 173 customers out in Suwannee County, 21 in Lafayette County, 273 in Duval County. So that's not too many over there, but a few here and there. I know Idalia areas further west is what we had, except for Duval. Some of those kind of popping up, maybe a vulnerability here and there exploited by weaker winds, not maybe severe winds even, doing some of that. Maybe either damage or just knocking a power, really knocking that power out here, a neighborhood right there, here or there. 228 customers officially from JE as I go straight over to that. So listen to in that area. Okay, this is interesting. I wonder about this. Okay, we're being told there's a reserve land spout now, which is, they're not going to go with a tornado warning, but, I mean, since it's not going to be a tornado warning, we're not going to stick with it, but such a calling is observed here. Let me read the text of this. They're saying Doppler radar, but then they see observed, so, okay, I think somebody saw a funnel cloud, maybe. I'm guessing around Hastings here based on what they're saying with this. So no warning here right now, but some weak rotation. So we'll watch it between Hastings and Yelvington if it were to tighten up. I know we have some instability, but we don't have as much of the wind shift maybe down there. If that were to tighten up, then maybe a tornado warning would be needed here down in the north part of St. Johns County. As you're looking at things on the Doppler radar technology, you can see green and red there a little bit. Not a lot, but some observations being made maybe out there based on what we're seeing now. Is there any debris with this? I don't think so. I saw a little something there. It looked a little displaced. Again, we'll keep watching. We'll keep tracking here. Again, Bradford County pretty clear right now still, which is the good news. We'll still have some rain coming in later at some point to some degree. This new advisory issued up here lands about possible. Maybe up here, they don't even have that in the text anymore, though, so that's good. But a little bit of weak rotation, of course, as they issue that, and we start to see a little bit brighter color come out on the screen again. That's the way it's been going here for radar meteorologists and just everybody in the meteorology community here this afternoon. A little bit of an enhancement here as this moves closer toward maybe that area out here, closer toward Atlantic Beach. So again, warning technically still there for 3 minutes. I don't think, let me check this. Yeah, that's just that side of the box that we've still had. But this one, we'll stick with it here, of course, for another few moments, just to make sure since that warning technically is still there in some ways, till 5:45. So, again, got to err on the side of caution. Now, we had that tornado in Flagler County back in October. That was an EF2. It did not even have a tornado warning with it. It had a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible tag. So, I mean, you just never know what can happen. Okay, we're being told the Skywarn spotter did report a funnel cloud there near Hastings. There, that was around Cracker Swamp Road at 5:41. So, funnel cloud reported here. That's about the first time we've seen of anything, but this doesn't have a tornado warning because it looks so weak that they don't think it would actually get down to the surface. But if somebody's watching this, they can always call back in and say they see a tornado or something. Or if the rotation picks up on radar, they would issue a warning as well, I would think. But not quite as favorable a setup down there for this. But we'll keep watching the Western 95 in St. Johns County. Again, we're going to keep watching, keep tracking here. Again, looking there. Parts of Duval County, a little bit of green and red, of course. It's been our day here. Stuff pulsing up and down. Let's check Moody's view of it. I'm curious. Okay, it shows more the southerly side, not much on the northerly. So hopefully both of these are just staying aloft here and not an issue for us. And nothing's actually coming toward the surface. It seems to have been a trend today. Again, we had a funnel cloud, though, that's reported in the Hastings area. Which is crazy considering we don't have a tornado warning with it because, I mean, I understand why. I agree with why they didn't issue it. It's just the crazy day. You don't have all these tornado warnings and no funnel cloud reports, and then you have a funnel cloud report but no tornado warning. But it makes sense. It really does. I know if you're not into meteorology, maybe it wouldn't, but it really does because this storm just doesn't look like it has a strength at this point in time, at least, to produce a tornado down here toward St. Johns County, down toward the surface. A funnel cloud, yes. That it's up in the air, but maybe not actually getting down. But if it has enough and it does get down, and that'd be a tornado and a tornado warning would have to be issued. Also, let's see here the population density on this. Okay, I think we just got a new warning. Let's see what we got. Not down here, but there are some homes down there, so we'll watch that. But okay, we're just gonna do thunderstorm warning now because this storm just doesn't want to give up here in Duval County. Okay, so they've issued this all the way further back toward the west now. So at 5:44, a severe thunderstorm was located over Craig Field here. Over Craig Field. And now that is also near UNF, moving east about 25 miles an hour. Jacksonville, Orange Park, UNF, Arlington, Jacksonville Beach, Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, Bay Meadows, Mayport, and Antigua. They say remain alert here for a possible tornado. But no tornado warning right now, but tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. That's the Weather Service reminded us of this. If you spot a tornado, go at once into a basement or small central room in a sturdy building. And just for your protection, move to that interior room on the lowest floor of a building if you can. Okay, so damaging wind is the biggest threat with this. Not a tornado warning right now. It is the metro here. And we still got to be kind of on guard. We'll stick with this a little while longer then. I know, at some point, if we don't see a lot with this, we may just wrap it up based on the history of this accident and kind of just leave it with the thought that we still have a severe thunderstorm warning in play. But no tornado warning here would not maybe keep us on. Just normally I'd stay on for the population density for the thunderstorm warning, severe thunderstorm warning, damaging winds up to 60, but we just haven't had a history of these so far. So generally, I know we could just kind of maybe give you the information a little longer and then kind of let you go on your way, but still be very careful here. And then obviously if a tornado warning got reissued or we really saw a pulse up here on radar to indicate there was a higher potential of actual damage, we could pop back in. So very tricky stuff. Again, you see some wind here west of Jax Beach, winds about 45 maybe. Showing up on velocity right now around, looks like State Road 9A. State Road A1A here. Again, moving toward Jax Beach. So be careful out there, obviously, in this type of situation. Again, that looks really straight line there versus any type of circulation like what we may have been trying to see for a moment. I know up to the north there's a little bit of something though, but it's not quite as evident as it was. Again, sometimes these pulls up right at the coast and you get another tornado warning, so gotta be careful with that too. It has happened many times over the years sometimes you have no warnings all day, and then at the end you get a tornado warning right at the coast because of enough of the overlap of parameters. So can't let our guard down completely here as we're looking toward Atlantic Beach, Jax Beach, and the like here. Again, be very careful whenever thunder roars. Go indoors. Let's pull up our severe thunderstorm warning safety tips here right now. Seek shelter inside a sturdy building. Stay away from windows here. Obviously, very important tips to keep in mind here as we're looking into parts of Jacksonville per se. So, again, that flash warning, by the way, for Wakulla, no longer on the board. So this is the only warning other than the marine warning that goes further on out. This is the only warning, convective warning for land here. At this point, we've had some advisories, like I say, down toward the south, and a new flood advisory now popping for Duval. But you see this special weather statement there, south of Hastings, where we have that rotation there. We had that funnel cloud size. That's kind of interesting. No thunderstorm warning down here. Let me take that away. Again, just continuing to watch things, continuing to give you guys the very latest here on what's going on. We're just trying to let you guys know exactly what we're dealing with. So, again, let's just go ahead and keep giving you guys the very latest right now. Again, you can see here, just really trying to watch exactly what is happening. Let me go ahead and zoom back out a little bit here, and you'll be able to see what we're dealing with. And zoom back in a little bit here up toward the north here in parts of the Jacksonville area. So, again, around Jax Beach there, you can see there is some wind enhancement, but not a whole bunch there. Doesn't seem from this view. You see winds go up to 47 miles an hour now. If I'm looking at my color tables here, again, I'm just trying to give you guys the very latest. Again, winds up to about 47 miles an hour as we're looking toward Jax Beach. But again, 58 is your severe criteria that rounds to 60. So again, just continuing to give you guys the updates here as we're looking toward Duval County. Again, just trying to make sure you guys know what to do here in case we do get another tornado warning as we're watching things, as we're tracking things. So again, a very active day in terms of warnings, but so far, not so much in terms of reports. That flash flood warning did have some reports out toward Wakulla County, though, and the like. So that's something to keep in mind. Again, looking down toward Orange Park here, technically there's a little bit of clay in this warning here as well. Again, you see a little bit of wind energy down there. You see some more up here. Let's see, around, looks like this passed over State Road 9A, and it's just north of State Road A1A here into this type of setup. So again, we're just continuing to give you guys the very latest. I'm trying to make sure you guys know exactly what is happening. Again, helping you guys out here the best we can. Let me go ahead and see here if there's any new information. Again, we had that flood advisory issued at 7:45 report to Duval County. We're talking about minor flooding in low-lying and poor drainage areas. So just got to be careful there. And let's see some of those rainfall amounts here over the last little bit if we can. Let's go to 1 hour rainfall. So in parts of Duval County, it's over 2 inches in the last hour. Next there, maybe west side of downtown, I would say maybe. As we're looking at things right in downtown, maybe closer to 1.5 inches. But definitely an active day here, an active period. As we're looking here, you see a little bit of weak spin around Jacksonville Beach here. But no tornado warning right now, which is good news. Still be careful here. I think if I don't see anything new in the next minute or two, we're just going to go ahead and wrap coverage. If we get more warnings, we'll post about them. If they're not tornado warnings, or we don't need to go on for a severe thunderstorm warning. But, I mean, of course, if there's a tornado warning or a more pressing severe thunderstorm warning, we'll jump in immediately on the different platforms here. And just remind you those, Facebook there, KC Clyde WX, Cloud Weather, Twitter at Cloud Casey, that's also X there, of course, that platform. YouTube at Cloud Weather, Twitch Cloud Weather, cloudweather.com. So we have a tornado warning for any of our 62 counties. We're on immediately with that if we're not already on like we were earlier on with the thunderstorm warnings that were looking a little more concerning. But if we have a situation here, where maybe we don't need to come on, it's a thunderstorm warning, it's not as concerning, or a flash flood warning that's not rising to the life-threatening criteria there, then maybe we just post about it on Facebook, Casey Cloud Reacts Cloud Weather, Twitter at Cloud Casey. We did some of that earlier on here today. So just so you guys know, that's kind of the storyline there. Again, just trying to let you guys know here, we have that severe thunderstorm warning remaining in effect here until 6:15 for parts of Duval and Clay counties. So, again, that's kind of the storyline there right now. Parts of Duval and parts of Clay until 6:15 here. Severe thunderstorm warning. There is still a tornado possible tag in here. So we almost hesitate wrapping it up. But unless I'm seeing more trends on the AXL radar when we look at the wind mode, when you have those mixed and matched together, that's more concerning. But when they're not matching well, not as concerning. The reflectivity pretty scary looking, but the other mode that actually kind of tells you about the wind, not so much. You see a gust during the 40 range in this area. So probably more of a significant weather advisory situation. Can't guarantee it is. If we have a tornado warning, had a tornado warning, be sticking with it. Generally, we would stay with a severe thunderstorm warning out here, but with the population density. But just based on the overall wind mode of the radar and the history on this accident today, it just doesn't seem things have been reaching now. Still be careful here. And if we got an additional warning past 6:15, we'll let you know about it. Probably just post it unless, again, something's more imminent there. So just be careful out there whenever thunder roars. Go indoors here. Be very careful out here in north parts of Duval and Clay counties. Mainly Duval County, though, where we're talking with this severe thunderstorm warning here that's in effect. Again, severe thunderstorm potentially there, impacting areas UNF, Arlington, Jax Beach, Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach. You had Bay Meadows in this warning, Mayport, Ortega as well. So, got to be careful here. Again, if we have more information, we need to pass it along. We'll be with you. We're going to end the stream for now. Again, we thank you so much for tuning in and trusting me. We hope that wraps it for today, for the weekend. But if it doesn't, we'll be back here as soon as it's necessary. Of course, our next one will update next week as well. If we don't have to come back on in the meantime here, as we keep watching things get closer to the coast here around Jacksonville Beach. Again, looks like rotation on this mode, but we're not seeing it on a velocity. Makes me a little nervous because sometimes you can get a quick tornado warning. It would be almost hard to get back on in time here when you have it this close to the coast with this little knots here. But we just don't have a lot on velocity to support me sticking with it. Anything in debris mode, let's make sure we don't have that. Because we've had this trouble before when you get right into the coast over the years. You'll get a quick spin up here or something, but you don't see hardly anything in velocity. This would show something different. But again, I haven't really had anything verified at all today here in terms of wind or tornado. We've had flooding, McCulloch County, that rain adding on up, but interesting situation. We've been trying to stay on top of it here. Been trying to give you guys the very latest. Again, but we hope we kind of have our bases covered here for now in this type of situation. As we keep giving you guys everything you need. Again, be careful on Neptune Beach, Jax Beach. Just stay inside, obviously, here. Don't want to be out in this. Heavy rain, some lightning, some gusty winds, maybe damaging winds, but hopefully no type of weak spin or any spin at all here. Hopefully that won't be a storyline. Again, we watched that storm down here. We had that land spout earlier, potential at least. Funnel cloud rotation a little weaker there. A little bit of something north of Fruit Cove. I don't see a lot with that, but we'll watch that here. See if that tightens up. Now it's getting past the St. Johns River. But again, this is right there near Jax Beach. We'll be back if needed. But for now, again, thanks so much for tuning in and trusting me. Enjoy the rest of your day here the best you can.